So what we are is a membership-based design and prototyping facility. We're basically a gym for design geeks. So instead of exercise equipment, we have tools, which is way more fun. And we have space. It turns out that like the big thing that people need when they're working on things is space to spread out. You can see the number of things that we have going on here, and you can't build that in your garage, and you can't do that in your own space because it's very cost prohibitive. So we've bought the tools, we've rented the space, and we've created a place where people can come together and collaborate. The real vision behind this place is to give people a place to come, learn from each other, learn new skills, and get their ideas kind of out of their heads and into the world. So it's really exciting to see people working together. At first, we had to kind of do this thing that I love to do called forced collaboration, like make people talk to each other and, you know, learn from each other. But now it's just kind of happening naturally, which is really exciting. You see people showing people different techniques on how to do things, or troubleshooting something when something goes wrong with their project. So it's really fun to kind of see people struggling through, and sometimes failing, and just like having to start over. And you have this amazing network of support here, whether it's just expertise in the shop or ideas for how to get products out into the market and taking that next step. So so we have a lot of some hobbyists working out of the space, but it was a real surprise to have so many industry people, freelancers, small firms. Now we've got kind of medium and large firms joining on, and it's become this real kind of like lily pad or launch pad for new businesses to grow. So again, like we're taking on all that capital cost of being able to grow your business and make more stuff for your clients without having to invest in all the infrastructure. So we're seeing that happening, and that's really exciting for us, because the big vision behind the space is to really be a place where we can create jobs, meaningful jobs that, you know, for creative people who want to kind of do the thing that they love the most for a living. So you can make a living doing the thing that you love. Like, how cool is that? So we are also really intrigued by what we're seeing with kind of digital designers wanting to reconnect with the making process, and designers in general getting more connected in with what does it take to really make things, how do you design things for manufacturing, and what does that look like. So we're hoping to fill a niche in Portland for creating kind of a micro manufacturing economy here, where we can launch products out of this space and be able to manufacture them. So people always ask, well, why don't you open another ADX over there or over here? People call us from Salt Lake City, Houston, LA, Chicago, you know, come bring ADX to our town. And our next move is going to be a space like this, but for manufacturing. So we really see an opportunity for kind of a shared manufacturing facility. So that's in the works and kind of coming up sooner than we thought. We have over 400 members now, which is insane to me, totally insane. And we're looking at a membership cap. So if you've been wanting to join, now's the chance, now's the time to do it. And it's a really amazing environment to be a part of. So I am just humbled every day by the amount of talent that I see working out of this space. It's amazing. And to see people working together is just something that I really enjoy seeing. So I'm going to stop talking, because really the people that are making things here, it kind of proof is in the pudding of what's happening here. So we've got 3 of our members, Official Manufacturing Company, Tom Burney, and then Rebecca Piercy. And so we're going to hear from them, and then I'll kind of come back at the end and tell you what's up for 2012. So, fellas, come on up.
I suppose you're wondering why we called you all here this morning. It's a bad joke we start most of our meetings with.
Oh, sure.
So I'm Fritz.
I'm Jeremy. Wait, hang on.
He's Jeremy.
I'm Jeremy. And I'm Matthew.
And we're the official manufacturing company. My mic sounds really bassy right now. I'll step away. We're actually located right next door. And we're actually also the longest running industry member here at ADX. We've been a member since 3 months before they opened, I think. We came in here when they were still in the process of figuring this out.
Get a plaque for that.
Get a clap? And let's see, what else? Were we going to talk about the history? I guess,
We've done a lot of work.
We've done a lot of work with ADX since those first 3 months till now. Everything from their branding to building out our own studio space to several client jobs. And so today we're going to talk about one of those.
And that's a project we did for for Gap a few months back. And Gap's actually based in San Francisco, but the project itself was in Los Angeles at one of the more Disneyland malls.
Yeah, it's the Grove Mall on 3rd and Fairfax in Los Angeles, and it's kind of like the weirdest American mall you can kind of think of. They've got like an outdoor trolley. It's super commercial.
While we were there, to put it in perspective, they were building a fake Christmas tree. Like they had a huge center, trunk to the tree, and they were drilling holes in the side, and then like grinding down the edge of the branches, and then like gluing the branches in. So they made like the perfect Christmas tree. It took them, I don't know, a couple weeks.
Yeah, and several $100,000.
Yeah, that's cool.
But it's kind of like the Disney World of LA malls. It's kind of right in the heart of LA, and everything's fake, and there's several celebrity sightings daily. AC Slater, aka Mario Lopez.
Yeah.
So I'm actually there every day.
That was an iPhone photo one day.
Yeah, couple celebrity sightings. That was fun. But
It was surreal. It was surreal to say the least to work in that environment.
Enough about the Grove.
Yeah.
So our job with Gap was basically to fill spaces and tell stories. And there were 5 different stories inside of this big Gap location in LA that they wanted us to tell. And they were just a bunch of blank walls. And they were just like, hey, can you guys fill in these walls with some interesting things? It was like super vague.
Part of our brief was this is the second store we did for the Gap, and so it was an experimental thing for them because all of their stores are very cookie cutter. They're very, you know what to expect when you come in there. So part of our the first store we did was to make it unique, do something that will identify this store from any other store. And with the first one that was pretty successful, they brought us on to do this much larger vision, and they refined the concepts that they wanted us to tell, and they just left it open to us. Like these are the points we want to hit, but what can we do? So we focused in on one specific story. It was of 1969.
So 1969 is Gap's denim brand, which is designed in Los Angeles as of like the last few years, and it's actually designed on West Pico Boulevard specifically, and we chose to talk about that while we were in LA, just because like designed in LA when you're in LA isn't as cool as talking about the street that it's actually on down the. I mean, it was like 3 or 4 miles from the mall, so it was kind of interesting.
Yeah, and the bigger part with that too is just how do we tell the story about a product that's designed in LA, aside from cheesy imagery or all this other stuff. So our where we went to was to take the product itself and tear it apart, deconstruct it, and repurpose the pieces to tell the story.
So this is one of the larger empty spaces in the location. It was the elevator shaft, and it was, I don't remember exactly, 12 feet across and about 30 some feet tall. And we kind of focused on the up. Oh, I'm back. And yeah, for the 1969 story, we just went with the line, designed on West Pico Boulevard. And our initial idea we sent to them, which was just in a SketchUp file, was this, along with this supporting image, which was the idea of using the buttons from the jeans to spell this out on the wall. And then we decided also to paste patterns in the background just to kind of add some texture and add to the story of the denim. It's like all the patterns we found in there.
The mechanicals for each piece of clothing that gets sent to the manufacturers to cut from the cloth.
So then this is the final SketchUp we sent before we got signed off, and Gap said, yes, let's do it. So then we had to figure out from there how we were actually going to do it, because we just said, oh yeah, we'll stick a bunch of buttons on the wall and it's going to look awesome. And then
They bought the idea, like, okay, do we move them? We're like a little bit of a, oh shit.
yeah, so our first thought was talk to Seamus, which we did. Seamus gave us a bunch of good ideas, and we kind of came up with a solution of how to use the CNC machine, CNC router to help speed up the process. So first thing we did was lay out a whole bunch of buttons, which you can kind of see with the sun on it there. But we made a grid of each of the numbers and letters, and then
to
scale all the buttons. So
and then we had a funny little pool to guess who could get closest without going over, of how many buttons it would take to actually make it happen. And this is a sample
let's
piece
see.
of what we were kind of experimenting with. And these are a 2 scale of roughly 2 feet high letters overall, and just a piece of masonite. So yeah, Seamus helped us figure out that we could actually use the rivets themselves with the shank and the rivet, and pop them together, the button, sorry, and actually use them the way that they're meant to be used, with a piece of masonite, and getting sheets of that CNC routed out here, and it took.
So yeah, we realized it was 5,000 holes, and the reason it was times 2 is because all of them had to be countersunk because the shank wasn't long enough to grab onto the button. So Seamus kind of helped us to build that right into the file. We just gave him the holes, and he made 2 separate sizes that it was going to route out, and it actually worked the first time through, which was really surprising.
But this thing got incredibly dirty, so we realized we had to first CNC route it, then we paste it, and then put up the button shanks in. So it was multi-step. Yeah.
So we just had to build a giant grid, or I guess kind of a pattern for these, one that would fit inside of a crate when we were done with it, and then we sent it to work on the router, and Seamus and the router sat over there for, I don't know, a good 10 hours maybe. I don't remember what the total was.
Elapsed time. Yeah.
7 hours plus prep. And then, so we built a crate here at ADX and shipped it right out the front door, which was pretty fun. Went down to LA, opened it up, and then we kind of just laid it all out on the floor.
This is done at the 1969 warehouse, so we were kind of very meta, building a tribute to 1969 in 1969.
So we had to place every single shank through the back, and then we just taped them on with painter's tape, and then flipped them over, and then did all the hammering after that. So
yeah, we very luckily had to bring Matty Janssen and Ben Parsons to help us out with that, so that was a huge.
Yeah, so we had a big crew. This is a 12-second video time lapse that's semi-uninteresting of us putting these together. We actually take lunch here right at the beginning, so this is a exciting part. But really quickly, you'll see right here is where we start doing some stuff, actually taping those together, and then we go outside and just started pounding them all into the thing.
It took about a full day of 3 people working on it, like kind of nonstop hammering. Yeah, which at the end, it had we not had this option, we have no idea how we could have pulled that off in less than several weeks. So it was an amazing time saver, and just a pretty unbelievable process for something as complex as that. And then
so this is the install.
Together,
oh yeah.
Yeah, we had to install them on the wall, which was another part that we had help figuring out with these guys. And Fritz and I were on this lift for a good 14 hours.
I don't know. It was a full day, longer than we thought. The difficult part, the panels all went up really quickly, but then we had planned to puttied all the seams, and then we wheat pasted over all the seams so it looked like one big solid panel and not like we'd shipped it down from Portland. And that was the tedious part for sure.
Yeah.
This is kind of a final photo of the outside.
So
which
as you're riding the trolley around this ridiculous outdoor mall, this is a big centerpiece. You can see from the night, the light during the day is reflecting off of the jean buttons. It's this crazy shimmer. It really turned out beautiful.
And the sign, the big huge cube sign, ended up being closer to the wall and bigger than we thought in the end, which was a little bit unfortunate. That apparently they're trying to resolve that.
Yeah, they're gonna fix that. But that was our.
These are some.
They're really happy with it. We're really happy
day.
with it, and we're really grateful to ADX for all their help in figuring it out.
Yeah, it would have been a lot more difficult had we not had these guys right next door to help us problem solve and to build the whole thing. So it was pretty cool collaborative process with them, which it
so
always is.
if you're ever in Los Angeles, go check it out. There's a bunch of stuff down there. So.
The end.
All right, thank you.
And we'll have this sample piece laying around if anyone wants to look at it. I don't know how interesting it is up close, but probably better than far away.
Cool. Awesome. Do you know how amazingly fun it is to have these guys next door? It's awesome. It's so cool. And that's one of the reasons why we're here, is to be a resource and provide the expertise. Seamus is just nonstop troubleshooting with people, and we've got a whole crew of people that do that every day. So a lot of people say that they have a hard time getting started or they don't know what to do. You don't have to know what to do. Just come in and we'll figure it out. So anyway, the next up is, and that's a good lead-in to Tom Burney. Not that he didn't know what he was doing, but he had an idea for what he wanted to do, and then he had to come and get some skills. So Tom, come up and tell us your story.
Hello. Thank you. Good, I got the bassy mic. That's nice. I can use a little bass. That's good. So I'm Tom Burney, and I'm with I am Ariane Cycle Works, and I wanted to just kind of share my own short personal story about how I came here, because I think most of you can relate to what my story is. I have been a visual effects designer, visual effects artist for film and television for the last 20 years. And I still am. And I wanted to, I always felt like I never really had any kind of tactile result or anything to show for the hands-on thing that I was doing. And that's a really important thing for me anyway, and I think you guys most of you can relate to that, because most of you, I think, are graphic artists, designers, photographers. And there was always something kind of missing. I enjoyed the work. I still enjoy the work. I like the collaborative atmosphere that design and visual effects offer. But there was always kind of, I could just never get my hands on something. I was always on the computer. And I've always kind of, in the past, have always been interested in building something. So that kind of led me to a couple of different things. I designed and built my own food cart a couple of years ago and launched that business, and that was a lot of fun. Extremely low margins in the food cart business, lots of hard work, and it was a blast. But that was kind of something that really initially I really felt like I finally was able to kind of build something and create something that I could really touch and feel. So eventually I kind of had an idea for the bicycle, the motorized bike, and I kind of started out just kind of designing it on SketchUp and designing the different components and things like that, and was never really sure how I was gonna put it together, where I was gonna put it together. So if you at some point come up and look at the bike a little more closely, you'll see that the cranks are bent to kind of give a clearance for the engine. I did, yeah, if you want to roll that out, that would be great. Thank you. So that was pretty much the first thing that I did, and you can see the bending here on the metal. I did that in my backyard, basically, with a vise that was lag bolted to a tree stump, and with a blowtorch. And so I'm heating it up, and it's like glowing red hot, and I've got this giant 3-foot pole, and I'm kind of pushing it this way, and hoping my wife doesn't come home early, so she's hoping I don't start a fire in the backyard and just get in trouble. And as I'm doing that, I was like, gosh, I wish there was a place that, I don't know, was like a shop and had, tools that I could do this and stay out of the rain. That would be awesome. And not start a fire in my backyard. And then really not too long after that, I had a conversation with a friend, and he said, well, have you heard of ADX? And I had not heard of it. I had heard of other places that were simply facilities that you could rent out and that had a certain amount of tools. They never really struck a chord with me. And so I came here just to check out ADX, and I walk in the door, and it's like, yeah, this will do. We've got woodworking, we got metalworking, and everything, and so I joined. And the thing I was surprised about wasn't just a facility. There, and as Kelly has obviously pointed out more eloquently than I could, it's more of a community. It's a collaborative atmosphere. Since I really was more comfortable designing things, and less comfortable actually building and fabricating things, it was very intimidating for me. So the fact that I could walk in the door and be less intimidated really helped the project along. And there are a lot of people here that know just about everything that you would ever want to do to create something like this. And so it's not just that it's a 4 walls and a heated space and tools. It's it's the community that's here, and the fact that you can really get anything done that you want. And this project really wouldn't have happened without specifically ADX. And I think a good example of that was I had just gotten the components back from powder coating on this Monday, and I came in with the wheels, without spokes and without hubs, and I just kind of walk in the door, and I had no idea. I've never built a wheel before. Never laced a bicycle wheel, and I just kind of walk in the door, and the first person I meet is Max, and he's an employee here, and I say, hey Max, how's it going? He's like, good, and I just kind of nonchalantly said, Max, have you ever built a wheel? And he said, yes I have. In fact, I do it all the time. And he was literally the first person that I saw as I walked in the door. And so 10 minutes later, he's building my wheel for me for the price of a lunch. And I learned how to lace a wheel because he was such a good teacher. And so that is one of many stories that happens almost every day here at ADX when I'm doing something. I'll have a question, and Seamus will come by, and it's just like, well, why not try it this way? It's like, yeah, maybe I'll try it this way, and it'll work out. So I guess my point is, if you're, there's really no reason to be intimidated if you're if you're a designer and you really want to go and fabricate something. If you have an idea and you want to bring a product to market, or if you just want to free flow your ideas and come in and grind metal and get your get your frustrations out that way. You can do all that here. So a little bit about the bike. It is technically a bike lane legal motorized bicycle that's legal on the bike lanes in Portland. And my desire is to actually bring it to market. So this is the prototype that I put together. And essentially, I want to get some feedback. I want to get people interested in it, probably the best thing to do is, if you're interested, you can come up after the talks here, and I'm happy to give you more information about it. But that's pretty much my story. So I hope you guys think about that, and thanks a lot.
Sweet. I was hoping that Tom was going to be letting us write it. So I don't know. I don't think he said yes. But he can start it up and maybe pop some wheelies. Okay, sweet. So yeah, this is pretty amazing. And Tom also didn't know how to TIG weld before he came here, and he took one of our TIG welding classes and just jumped right in. So it's another resource. We have classes here, and pretty much at the end of the class, you kind of overcome a lot of your fears about working in the shop. So another thing that we're working on, which we didn't think we'd get to for a few years, is a Portland-made brand of products coming out of ADX. So prototypes like this that get made here, and then partnering with designers on those products, getting them produced in small runs and launching them out into the world. So we think there's a certain aesthetic coming out of Portland, and we want to be part of taking that out into the broader community out there. And so the next person we have is Rebecca, and Rebecca Piercy from Queen Bee Creations, and I'll let her tell the story, but this is a good example of kind of our first product that we're going to be launching, and it's called Sling Rocker. So I'll let her explain that.
Hello. So I have been passionate about hand making locally for a long time, and I design and make bags, wallets, accessories, home goods. I started a line called Rebecca Piercy Textiles this past year that I had been working towards for years, and that is mostly home goods, soft goods, throw pillows, tea towels, and the like. And I'm super passionate about textiles and pattern and color, and so the way I operate is like everything I see. If there's an opportunity to put some fabric on it, that's pretty much my mode. So one day I was driving along in Portland and saw this like folded up wooden chair on the side of the road, and being the scavenger that I am, pulled over and threw it in the back of my car, and not knowing what the potential was, I thought it'd be cool to take home. It was free. There was nothing to lose. So I got it home and I stashed it for a while, and then finally had some time to pull it out and clean it up. And it was covered in dirt and dust, and there was another one with it that was actually broken, so I didn't take that one. I just took this one. But I kind of wish I had taken the other one, because we could have used it as a pattern. But it didn't have the canvas with it. But I pulled it out and recognized, okay, this is a vintage lawn chair, and the style that would have a canvas sling in it. So I restored the chair and treated it with teak oil, and printed this canvas sling with an original pattern of mine, and started using it and realized what an amazing chair it was. It's really comfortable. It rocks. I'll demonstrate. So all summer long, I enjoyed this chair. And the way that part of how I design is, if I find something useful or appealing, I usually imagine that there are lots of other people that might enjoy it too. So I started to think about the potential to recreate this chair and reproduce it and bring it to market. So I clearly am the fabric person, but I don't work with wood. I don't have those skills. And so I had been hearing about ADX and was on the mailing list, and so it was definitely in my awareness. And when I was thinking about who I could potentially talk to about speccing it out and pricing it out and talking about the potential for manufacturing this chair and bringing it to market, I contacted ADX. I'd never been here. I'd never met anybody that worked here. Didn't really know that much about it. And pretty much off the bat was responded to with a lot of enthusiasm and potential and positive feedback. So I came in and met with these guys and showed them the chair, and it has an allure, this chair, and I invite all of you to come. I'll pull the other two chairs down onto the floor, and please have a seat and enjoy, because it's a lovely chair. So we started talking about what it would take to potentially bring this to market. And so what we decided was that we would go in on this together in terms of investing into making some prototypes and then testing the market to see how the market responds. So, on that note, feel free to, try out the chair, give feedback about the chair, about the prints, about anything that you want to tell us about. So that's the stage that we're at right now. All of the chairs so this is the original one here, and then the three others are the new reproductions. There's 3 different woods. I believe the light one is ash, and then there's a red oak and a white oak, I believe. Is Greg here? Greg is the main person who worked on building these. And then all the prints are original designs that I silk screened by hand in my studio, and I'm at an early stage with developing those designs, so I'm excited to experiment some more with that and see. It's a completely different canvas in terms of the use of the product and the scale of the design. So I'm practicing and experimenting with that. So like Kelly said, this is a product that we're going to be testing the market for and developing together as a collaboration, which I'm really excited about, because I, as a designer and a maker, have been definitely in a mode of doing a lot of it myself, and so it's really exciting to work with somebody else. And it's not just one person, obviously, it's this whole place, and it's incredible to be able to go in and out together and also not worry about the part that I don't need to worry about. Leave it in the hands of the experts. So that about does it, yeah? Okay, cool.
Sweet. So we've got lists in the back if you want to write your name down and contact information if you're interested in the Ariane cycle or the Sling Rocker. And we'll let you know. But so big, huge, exciting plans for 2012. We really started it out with a bang. We've got our crew of 20 that were just, putting it into high gear and really trying to focus on our fabrication services. We also do creative offsites for companies. Columbia Sportswear and Nemo have both used our space for just bringing their team in and working in a different way together. We're going to be launching some corporate team building exercises using the shop, getting people used to using the tools, and then launching more products out of our Portland-made brand. So we left industry packets on all of your chairs. Please take one of those. And like I said, we're very close to a membership cap. So if you want to join, get in now. And we look forward to seeing you all here making things. And I appreciate you coming. And we're going to be doing tours. If you see somebody in an ADX shirt, they can show you around, answer any questions. If you have any questions for me or any of these guys, we're going to stick around for a little bit and just come ask us. So thanks.